All right, folks, this is Labor Day, Monday, September the 7th, 2020. And I'm sorry there's no video today. And get us, there's something wrong with my phone. I don't know or with the computer, and the camera's dead today, and I don't know why. I'm sorry I didn't turn the computer on soon enough to realize there was a problem and try to fix it. It worked yesterday for the program, and Larry had called and asked me to do something just to remind everybody to be here. So we talked for about half an hour. It's about probably the first time all year that we've had a conversation that long. And he was working very hard for hours and hours and hours with his friends in Washington, D.C., whoever they are. He doesn't tell me that. I don't need to know. And it's safer if, nobody else knows. And I'm sure there's some classified stuff going on that we just don't need to be privy to. So I do know he's very concerned about the campaign, that we're running out of time, that he's been out of the loop and needs to work hard to catch up on what's going on and, try to lead the charge. So what he wants to do, which he announced last Friday, is he wants to give us copy points every day. It's like a meme that you put up on social media to let everybody just give somebody something to talk about. So to start with some curiosity stimulation today, I put up on the screen, no more procrastination. It's time for your participation in Operation Daisy Chain. So if everybody would post that on your social media, just leave it at that and tell them to be here. One of the things that we did in 2016 is we tried to get people who were campaigning, who were running for office, to create street signs that weren't just your normal street sign. Because Larry has discovered with research he has done that if you have a sign up on the road, people will drive by it and read the sign. Of course, you want something very short and eye-catching, because if you've got too many words, people can't read it. So it may take them 2 or 3 days, but once they realize what the sign says, it just becomes part of the landscape and part of the background, and nobody's paying attention anymore. And so what Larry suggested we do is have blank space in the middle of the sign that you post. If you're going to have a Trump sign, for example, out in your yard, have a sign beside it that has a picture of an umbrella on a rainy day. Did you remember your umbrella? Have a happy day. The Democrats lie. Just something very short and cryptic that's going to get people's attention. So what we're asking today is that you post no more I can read this. No more procrastination. It's time for your participation in Operation Daisy Chain. I know the rhyme is kind of corny, but it's just a way of capturing attention. Larry's whole point that he said is we want to give them something that they can't forget, okay? So this is the rhyming will help them think Operation Daisy Chain. That's the way Larry has run things in the past. These are some of his ideas. Our last order of Never Socialism t-shirts should be printed I think on Wednesday. And so we'll be getting those out before the end of the week. I've got a couple books going out in the mail tomorrow. If anybody else wants to order Larry's autobiography, 28 Years to Nowhere, text me, and I will talk to you about that and get you a copy. I have one copy left with his autograph. And so I don't know what's going on. We were supposed to talk he said, call him. He got off the phone. He'd been on the phone for like 6 hours and he was exhausted. He called me in the morning, was planning to go to the hospital, and they wouldn't take him. So he was going to try a different hospital. Well, all the hospitals are connected. When you've got an outstanding bill, nobody else will let you come in. So I gave him $600 on Saturday that had come in last week, and the checks that had come in the mail. And the bill is at the hospital is $1,200 minimum payment before they will allow him to be seen by anybody at the hospital. And so he wasn't able to be seen by anyone. And I'm sure what he was wanting was some, medication support so that he could get through whatever consulting he was doing yesterday. And he wasn't able to get to the hospital at all. And so he was exhausted when he called me at 5:30 for just very briefly and said he'd just gotten off the phone. He said, call me before 7:30 and let's talk about what we're going to do today. And I said, well, I'll call you at 6:30. Well, every time I've called him for the last 24 hours, his phone's off. It goes straight to voicemail immediately. So I don't know what's going on. He is not available right now. And so I'm concerned. And I just kept thinking, I'll hear from him. He's really busy. And, he's never done this before, just to leave me in the lurch. Well, I guess I can't say he's never done this. He has had medical emergencies where he's left me in the lurch. But that's not normal for him. So, I don't know what's going on, and I'm concerned. And of course, my camera not working, so that's concerning to me as well. I'm just a second. Let me just see if I have any other notes. One of the things that concerned him greatly yesterday when he called me at 5:30 last night and said he was too tired to talk then, but let's talk in another hour or two. 3 books were coming out today. Michael Cohen. I think it's Michael Cohen. It's Cohen anyhow, and I think that was Trump's lawyer, was writing a tell-all book that's going to be negative against Trump. Peter Strzok has a book calling Trump the Manchurian Candidate, and Woodward and Bernstein are coming out with a book slamming Trump. So Larry was very concerned about the damage that was going to do. One of the things he found out was that the Trump campaign was counting on Fox to help them with information because he said, because all the countries of the world are trying to participate in our election, they're not just going to shut the internet down against conservatives, but they're going to take the internet completely down for a while to block anybody being able to communicate or get any information out to anyone. And so we need to hurry up and get as many people on board as we can at this point. So, folks, I don't really know what else to do. I have called Larry since half an hour ago and called multiple times, and the phone's off or he's on the phone. Or if he's on the phone, that means he's very busy and can't be, he's not being interrupted. And if the phone is off, I don't know if there's a problem with his phone or what's going on. So before tomorrow's show, if I don't hear from him, I will go knock on the door and see if I can, I'll drop a note on the door and see if I can get a message on what's going on, just so I know. And I didn't say anything about Europe, Diane. I said all the countries of the world are trying to participate in our election. And so they are going to use that as an excuse to shut the internet down completely because they don't want any information going out in favor of Trump. Remember, Larry has talked about they are going to pull every trick in the book that and then some beyond any of the tricks that have ever been used in the past, any of the tricks that Larry has ever known about. And so Larry's real concerned right now that it seems like Trump's campaign team seems to be coming behind It's like a pooper scooper, the clown pooper scoopers behind the horses in a parade. Instead of being out front leading the parade, they're trying to clean up whatever messes Biden's making, and that's not the way you win something. That's a defensive move, not an offensive move. So, who knows? We know China is angry with how much Trump has been winning. Trump had a very excellent conference speech today, press conference today. And, he talked about how, China's not happy. China is buying ordering a lot of goods from us. And, the trade deals have been in our favor. And that, of course, makes everybody mad. Because, when this just as a personal fact of life, when somebody's excelling, everybody else gets jealous and tries to put the excellent one down. And we do not know exactly when the internet incident will occur. It could be any day now. It could last days, it could last weeks. We don't know. Larry told us last year that they were going to do this. And so, they don't want Trump being able to get out with any surprises or good news. They're going to do everything to block whatever he's trying to do. So, MW, are you talking about Larry being paid? No, Larry is never paid for the consulting he does, because anybody on government payroll is very limited in what they are allowed to do. And by Larry not getting paid, he has the freedom to do things in ways that he can collect information that government employees cannot legally collect. That doesn't mean that they don't, but they can't do it legally. I don't know what is in these 3 books that have come out, other than they are going to be Trump bashing and full of lies. There is so much that one of the things I did with Larry yesterday was I went through, and I told you this yesterday afternoon, I went through a laundry list of things that I've been hearing people talking about and being upset about, and concerns about President Trump. And he said, Mary Ellen, don't you realize the Democrats will do anything and say anything to knock Trump and make him look bad in the eyes of the people? He said, if you are hearing something negative about Trump, most likely it is something that is coming from the Democrats as propaganda. I don't understand your question, Frogman. I know that the stock car races were very pro-Trump, and it was really great to see that. And the people who are doing the boat parades, they set a Guinness World Record this weekend. I think it was this weekend, for number of boats in a boat parade. And I saw one sailboat that all the sails were Trump flags all the way to the top of this very high mast. So they're all against the president, Sherry. They're gonna make a name for themselves. They're doing everything. The media is cooperating to do everything it can to be against Trump. But please remember the scripture: "No weapon formed against you will prosper." And it says that if you are going to curse somebody and it is not deserved, it will come back on your own head. And so we have seen that Trump, God is the one who anoints people to be leaders. And he allows us to have bad leaders for a reason. He usually as judgment on a nation and to wake people up and get them to cry out to the Lord. And he gives us good leaders as a reward or as an opportunity to lead us into righteousness. Trump is not supposed to be the country's pastor, but he's acting more like a pastor than many of our pastors are, unfortunately. Anyhow, because we've got a lot of extra people here, we were going to talk about Operation Daisy Chain. So I suggest you copy down what's here on the screen. No more procrastination. It's time for your participation in Operation Daisy Chain, and let's put that all out. And I will try to do my best to find out what's going on with Larry and why he's not calling in. Since he needed to go to the hospital yesterday morning, I was real concerned. He was losing his voice by 5:30 in the afternoon because he'd been talking so much. And I know you need to. No, I'm not saying Trump's not behind in the sense of being behind in the polls. What Trump's campaign people are trying to do is come back behind Biden and what Biden says and arguing against it. There's a place for as it says in Proverbs, answer a fool according to his folly and he will be the wiser. And there are other times where it says, don't answer a fool or you're going to look like just as bad a fool as he is. So what some of the campaign people are wanting to do is answer the accusations for Biden. But like I said to Larry, what needs to happen is as a parent, you do not go, a good parent doesn't just try to correct all their child's mistakes and weaknesses. Yes, there are times when you have to do correction, but you are going to create a stronger adult if you strengthen a child's strengths. It says train up a child in the way he should go. What that actually says in Hebrew is train up a child according to his bent. In other words, understand your child's personality and strengthen the good things. And then a lot of the negative things take care of themselves. A lot of our weaknesses take care of themselves or become far less important when our strengths are excelling and we're doing the best we can with what we're good at. Then what you do when you're in a family or when you're in a team, in a business, you try to hire people whose strengths will complement so that your strength can make up for my weaknesses and my strength can make up for yours. So we work together out of our strengths. It takes maturity to leave the weaknesses alone and to not feel competition when your strengths are not the same and you think yours are more important. That weakens an organization, that weakens a family. So if you are working as a team, that's great. Now, I want to say a couple things. Denise's Deplorables is a Facebook group and she posted, she's got 456 followers there. And so she posted about Operation Daisy Chain. And she had a cute comment yesterday after yesterday's show. She said, do you remember that Hillary said Trump supporters are deplorable? And I loved her question. Are you deplorable enough? So we may, if Larry doesn't come back, we may use that as our little meme tomorrow. But today, let's just, get people thinking about Operation Daisy Chain. What's that? And then, of course, you can tell people about the showtime here. I am really sorry about Larry not being here. I don't understand it. This is the thing that he was going to talk to Jason about tomorrow. I would think he would try to save up some strength to be able to do that. There was one other thing I was going to say, but I don't remember. Oh, I know the other thing. We have a group in Southern California. There are some neighbors who walk their dogs together. And they have been talking, and as neighbors will do, neighborly people will do. And one of the ladies in the group said, I think I need to find out more about Trump. She's recognizing that Biden is not going to bring to our country what she is looking for in the way of freedom. And so the idea of the days, Frogman, I didn't know. I'll talk to him about that. He may have to change that. But the idea is that you are stringing daisies together, like when you made a necklace. And it's the idea, the whole concept is we tell one and they tell one and they tell one, and we spread the word that way. So I don't think that way, Frogman, so I don't know. Anyhow, these neighbors want to get, they met for lunch over the weekend, and they want to get together and strategize on ways to help their other Democrat neighbors in this close community to understand the truth about what's going on. We know for sure that we are, without a doubt, facing the most important election of our lifetime. And it's been interesting to watch people say this is the most important election we've ever had, and it keeps getting more and more critical. But this time we are in a fight between good and evil. And we are in a fight between freedom and communism, freedom and socialism. And it's a very black and white choice. And so we need to be thinking, if you are a Christian or you are consider yourself a moral person, you've got to be thinking about voting moral issues like life, safety for children, protection of children, and these kinds of things. Because if we think it's bad now, this is nothing in comparison to what can be coming if God's judgment falls and he takes his hand of blessing off of us. Oh my word, I'd rather not be here. It definitely is a spiritual battle, Diane, and we have got to step up our involvement and participation. So that's it for today. I'm not going to do Bible study today because this really was about starting off making suggestions. So we'll talk tomorrow about, have people come back tomorrow, and certainly you will want them to listen to Jason Goodman tomorrow, because he has a bigger audience, and so that does become the priority on Tuesdays. So Josephine, stringing daisies together was or dandelion flowers too, you might remember. All right, folks, I agree. Bonnie, let my people go. Yep, let's let my people be free. Set my people free. So thanks, guys. We will talk tomorrow, and hopefully I will have heard from Larry, and we'll either have further directions or, he'll be able to be here. So God bless you all, and String of Pearls sounds great. I will mention that. All right, thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.